Wiener, 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 next to another wiener, 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 two wieners alongside yet another wiener, party, wiener party, 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 wieners nice and soft, non-erect wieners. Flopping wieners, dangle wieners, dangle wieners in my bed.
Stop, please! I can't take any more.
But this is the best part. Right before King Joffrey gets poisoned, everyone flops their wieners all around his face.
Welcome, everybody. I gotta unmute when I do that. To episode 16 of the Pseudo Nerd Podcast for April 22nd, 2016. I am your still learning how to be a host, Josh Kiser. And joining me today in the known world of King's Landing, Mr. Josh Haddix.
I see we're off to a fantastic start already.
And somewhere north of the wall, Mr. Kyle Hoagland.
What is going on, everybody?
So, I totally could have just not acted, just said welcome and then just said welcome again because it was muted and nobody would have heard it. But you guys...
Except for us, which would have laughed at it.
Yeah.
So I figured, what the hell, I'll just call myself.
We would have called you out on it, yeah.
I respect that you took that one on the chin.
You know, I just got to own to my mistakes. It happens. Happens to the best of us.
Absolutely. How's everyone been today? How's everyone been this week? I haven't talked to you guys in 5 days. It feels like
it's been nice.
I mean, I was about to say it's been kind of good actually.
Damn.
A lot less stressful, you know. Me and Kiser just kind of hanging out, chit chatting.
Little chat. Did you guys move Adam in?
We sure did. Yeah,
yes, we did. Very easy.
Very easy stuff. He had it. All the big stuff he bought brand new, so the movers moved that in. Or the furniture company he purchased it from. So, we just had to move some boxes and some weights, you know.
Yeah, we could, if we were busting ass, we probably could have moved everything. We could have done our jobs in probably an hour and a half. If we were, trying as hard as we could. We were kind of, bullshitting a little bit here and there.
Right, exactly.
How was your travels cross-country?
Traveling sucks, going from one side of the country to the other. Other than that, it was okay. Like I said, nothing too exciting. A wake and a funeral. There's not really a whole lot of lot of room for excitement and wonderment. But it was good to see people. It was good to see some of Kat's family, and nothing too much to report. My cousin or her cousin got a new puppy. It was a German Shepherd puppy. So basically just played the shit out of that dog for a bit. It was fun.
You play with that dog and with Kat?
I don't know how many jokes you can have, man. with my wife's name. Here. Oh, man.
Well, if you guys do have any jokes about a play on Kyle's wife's name, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook and let us know all about them.
Keep them clean.
Or don't. My wife does follow, so I'm sure she'll enjoy, or she will, let me know whether she enjoyed it or not.
Right. Kat, maybe we'll just give you guys a retweet on there. So
if I don't retweet, then it was probably for the best that I didn't.
If you report it to Twitter, it was probably for the best.
Right.
If your account was banned, then it's a good chance that was probably in poor taste.
And that's you can find that all at thepseudonerdpod.com. And again, guys, go subscribe. I got some more people to subscribe when I was at the Indians game this past weekend. So, I'm doing my duty, guys. Promoting the biz.
I might actually do a subscribe for dummies video or something, because everybody I was talking to in Vermont, and maybe it's a Vermont thing, I don't know, but I told them about the podcast, and they were like,
dude, what are you ripping on our Vermont listeners like that? Come on now.
Dude, they don't even have, a lot of them up there don't even have like proper Wi-Fi, man. Just saying. But when I was telling them about the podcast, like, oh yeah, I'll listen to it. That sounds interesting. Like, how do I get it? And I'm like, oh, you have an iPhone? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you just go to the podcast thing. They're like, I don't know anything other than how to text and call. I'm like, so why do you have an iPhone if that's like literally the only thing you use it for? And you say, well, I take pictures, and like that's what a flip phone can do. So all you technical, maybe not so savvy, I might put a little fun little video of just, if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, how to subscribe so we can get those downloads, and then you can just go ahead and I'll put an extra one. Maybe I'll have Haddix narrate it about how to delete it afterwards, since apparently that's phase 2 of this process, according to him.
Hey man, you can't comment on your own stuff. You have to let other people comment on it. All right, I'm not conceited like that.
Speaking of which, did you ever give us a 5-star rating?
I have not. I'm biased, dude.
Well, maybe.
Why? You're going to get on that and you're going to say it sucks?
Yeah. I'm going to get on there and give us a 1-star rating and say, please do not listen to the show.
Hey,
well, I mean, don't listen. Download, but don't listen.
Hey, as long as you're giving some sort of review, all right?
It's all about that traffic.
That's right. We just need those clicks. And at one point I had a good segue, but it was crash and burn long before I ever got a chance to speak. So I'm just going to roll into today's podcast, which is going to be all about a song of ice and fire, or better known to the non-book readers out there as Game of Thrones. Season 6 comes out this Sunday, and we're going to go ahead and preview it for you. We're going to sort of do a recap of, for the people watching and the people listening, you're probably a show, if you're still listening to the podcast right now, you're watching the show, that means you're interested in the characters. If not, if you're just listening for the hell of it, then we're just going to say, spoiler alert, we're going to talk all about the show and where it's at right now. But for those of you that do know, there's a lot of characters, and we're just going to kind of go through, bring up a character, maybe talk about where the character's at, where we think they're going to go, give our reviews, previews, theories, and everything else. And, so one last time, spoiler alert, and let's do this.
Let's do this.
So it's probably in our best interest to jump right into the biggest storyline coming into the season, and that's with Mr. Jonathan Snow. And where they left us off, of course, the Night's Watch turned on him, and he got stabbed, I think a total of 6 times, including one from that little fucking Ollie.
Ollie finished him off, dude.
He sure did.
That broke my heart.
That bastard.
Ollie's a dick.
Didn't he also kill Ygritte?
So I'm gonna throw this out. I'm gonna throw this out there as we go through this. I'm gonna kind of, as we bring up names, I'm gonna throw this out there. I pulled this up. This is what I was telling you guys about. There was a post on Reddit. Sadly, I don't have the guy's name, but he did a poll and had 7,000 votes on the characters who fans expect to see dead in season 6. And then there's a percentage next to them. So as we throw out names, I'm gonna throw out where they land on this list. Ollie, number 3. So let's hope that little bastard dies next season.
And I would say he's just a child, and children, in most shows and things don't tend to get killed off per se. But this, of course, Game of Thrones, all bets are off, as we saw last season with Stannis burning his daughter at the stake.
Ugh, man.
So still in one of the toughest scenes to really watch. For one that they really didn't show a ton of it on air either, as far as her actually burning.
No, yeah. But she was yelling. They showed
you didn't need to.
Stuff.
So back to Jon Snow. He is lying there. I mean, they basically end the the season with him lying in the snow, with the blood kind of
it's pouring liberally out of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
seeping
kind of
out.
Seeping out, yeah. Draining from him. What are your guys' thoughts? Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he going to be resurrected if you think he's dead? What are your thoughts on where he's going?
Well, I think he's definitely dead. I think he's definitely dead when the season starts. Now, whether or not he gets resurrected again, I think there's been a lot of, whenever you get all these trailers, everybody pauses and zooms in. There's been some theories that he's in one of the trailers in the background fighting. So I think when someone dies like that, where it doesn't seem like it's like he really did die, like he was just laying there for dead. I have a hard time believing that that's the curtain call for Jon Snow. So I think he is dead. I think that something happens that brings him back, whether it's, I don't know, whether that's either like the curse of the White Walker or Melisandre or something like that. But I don't think we've seen the last of Jon Snow or the actor who plays him.
I'll throw in two things real quick. One, out of all the characters that have died, the big characters, your Neds, your basically all the Starks, they never show them in like the next season's previews. Like they're dead. This is the first time that someone's been shown on posters, in previews, whether it's them or not. It's the first time that you've seen this much of someone who's dead.
Good point, but do you think a lot of that is HBO promoting him?
It could be.
That's a big. It's obviously a big draw. Like people.
Oh yeah.
You want to know whether he's alive or not, and I think that's got to be a big way for them to promote it.
It could be, but at the same time, all these other deaths were big. When Ned Stark died in the beginning, Ned Stark was my favorite character in season 1. I hadn't read the books. I didn't know what was going to happen. When he dies, it was like a blow. It was a blow to the knees. So, and they didn't tease him coming back. Blow to the head. Dude, blow to the knees.
The back of the neck. From, if we're going to be.
But anyway, my other reason, not to spend too much time on that, my other reasoning is they do show at some point in one of the previews that have come out, Melisandre is at Castle. Towards the end of season 5, she leaves Stannis,
and they back at Castle.
Yeah,
Black.
She's back at Castle Black. So and we've seen Warriors of the Light come back to life. That one guy, I think it might have been a few seasons ago.
Season 3, I believe.
Yeah, got cut and then came back. So they have that power of resurrection. So I think Jon comes back. How and when, I have no idea, but that's what I think.
I think we're all on the same page. I think we all think he's coming back. It's a matter of how. I think we all also agree that he is currently dead. It's not one of those Glenn situations from The Walking Dead where, is he dead, is he not, and then he's actually fine. The dude was stabbed 6 times and lying in a pool of his own blood. He is dead right now. But I do think that's not the last we see of him in the living capacity. But it'll be interesting. And I one of my reasonings for why I think he's not done is the way that, and I know this show has never been one to your point, like they kill off main characters left and right. Like it's not, nobody's safe. But I feel like his story isn't over based on the way he's been written so far. And it would sort of be like an anticlimactic way to write it off. I just don't think I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's concluded his journey in the story.
Yeah, I agree. We could touch on a lot of things that aren't resolved, like who his mom is or whatever. So yeah, I agree with that.
So while we're talking, we're kind of in the whole Night's Watch area. The White Walkers, obviously, and Kyle, you sort of mentioned them briefly, the chance of him, that they can res people in their own way as well. Where do you guys think they're going to go with the White Walkers story? I mean, are they going to just keep traveling south, and are they just like, I don't... Any thoughts on where they're going with it?
I'll say that still, I mean, the only way for them, it seems like, to get through is through the wall. So whether they climb it or what, but I do believe this is when, probably towards maybe the middle to end, maybe the last like 3 episodes. I think that something has to give. As far as, because really at this point there's no real reason for the Night's Watch to go back. They know what's waiting for them if they were to go on another expedition back, on the other side of the wall at this point. So if they're going to get anything done, they're going to have to work with the wildlings and meet it head on. Also, what's his ass? Davos. I mean, he knows full well what's happening soon, and I think he's going to be a big player about trying to talk the other kingdoms into helping out and hopefully stopping the inevitable march of the undead.
I think his biggest thing right now, at some point, he's going to find out what Lady Melisandre did to the princess, whatever I can't think of her Stannis' daughter's name.
Shireen.
Yeah, there you go. He is going to be up in arms about that. I mean, that was like, in many ways, like a daughter to him. And when he finds out, like, he's going to fuck that woman's life up. Like, I think that is where he goes. Like, I think that is going to be a big focus on him going forward.
Well, at this point, his king's dead. He has no reason to give a shit about that woman. So at that point, what's stopping him from exacting any kind of revenge? He's always hated her.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. But we'll kind of move a little south of the wall, and we'll get to where are the Starks from? I can't even think. Winterfell. There we go. And where we kind of left all that, of course, the Boltons are ruling it right now, and Ramsay Bolton had wed Sansa Stark. And right there at the end, Theon Greyjoy helps her. He pushes that girl who was in love with Ramsay Bolton. I think she's like the blacksmith's daughter or something.
Miranda.
Like that.
Yeah, that was one of the I wouldn't say gross, but she splatters.
That's that noise. It was all that noise, yeah. But definitely, yeah. So throws her off the side, and then they realize that they got to get the hell out of there. Then, and Sansa and Theon do some aim for the bushes thing and jump off the side of the castle, and you don't really see them land or anything. I guess it must be a lot of fluffy snow, because in the previews, I don't know if you guys have seen the previews for this season, but Sansa's there. She's wearing the Stark, colors and the garb and all that, and she seems completely fine. Actually, kind of seems like she's gonna be a badass in this. So I don't know what kind of magic jump they did, but they jumped from a high, from quite a height, and seemed to land without much scratches.
Yeah, it was higher than the girl than Miranda, who got pushed off and died. So
right now,
Miranda, of course, she didn't jump into snow.
Right,
but,
yeah, I was gonna say.
But yeah, she's definitely in the next season, and like you said, I think I think even Sophie Turner has come out and said that this is Sansa Stark's best season yet, which doesn't say much because she's kind of been a little whiny up until last season. She was kind of turning, but.
Yeah, she's gone through some weird changes over the... first she was, wanted to be kind of that... the life with, almost like queen life. She wanted to be the Lord life. And then sort of went into this hiding, and then kind of became a bit of this, scared girl. And then, of course, with everything that Ramsay did to her, but, between basically raping her and abusing her, you can understandably she's been a little more scared.
Yeah.
So
now... She's had it rough, man. She's had it rough.
In comparison to her brothers that are dead and her father dead and her mother's that dead, I guess, it could be worse. But
as far as she knows, everybody in her family's dead. That's as far. I mean,
well,
I guess she doesn't know. I think she knows Bran is alive and her other brother, which
and Recon or whatever.
She doesn't
Recon.
know that they're alive, but she thought for the longest time they were dead, and now knows that they're not dead the way she thought they were. So
she knows Theon didn't kill them.
Right.
She knows that Theon couldn't find them.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, you can tell that she went through kind of a transformation right after her Aunt Lisa was thrown through the moon door, and then I think ever since then, she's kind of matured a little bit. You could tell she's got a little bit more. I don't know. I wouldn't say like confidence in her step, but you can tell like when she was around, Baelish.
Yeah. Littlefinger.
Yeah,
Littlefingers. She kind of has a little bit more of a mature, trying to, I don't know, more of an attitude towards her. And obviously that gets knocked down a peg when she marries Ramsay. But yeah, from everything that I've read, this seems to be like definitely her season this time around.
So does that mean she's dead by like episode 5?
Well, from everything else, it seems like the main deaths, other than last season, have always usually been like in the 8th or 9th episode.
It's the 8th. Yeah. It's the 8th episode on even years. I don't know if it's coincidental or not, but it's the. It's
guys.
I was reading San Francisco Giants.
No, I was reading this. I didn't do it. I didn't do this myself. I was reading about this. I can't take credit for it.
Well, every other. Was it season?
So
2 and 4. It was the weddings, episode. Right? Or was it 3 and 4 were the weddings? Which season was the red wedding?
3 and 4.
And the purple wedding was 4. And those are both. They weren't. As far as I'm concerned, they weren't the last episode. They were like
It's never been. I feel like it's never been the. Well, I guess John dying was the last episode. Yeah.
Usually, it normally ends with like Daenerys and the dragons. Like that usually has been like the last couple seasons. It usually ends with something happening with her and her. All of a sudden, one of the dragons all of a sudden is like the size of a building. But that's been I think seasons 1 through 4 at least have focused on the dragons and her as like the last thing you see before the credits. So it was very interesting.
Adding on almost like a brighter note after they have some like rough episodes. Where this one they want to end on a much bigger cliffhanger, almost.
It was much more grim, that was for sure.
Yeah. So I had a point we were going to talk about before all that, but I don't remember what it is. It was about Peter Baelish. How creepy is that guy? I mean, honestly, the dude was in love with Caitlyn and couldn't have her, so then he goes after the sister, realizes he doesn't want her, then he's going after the daughter. Like, that dude is trying so hard.
But then, not to jump here, but on the topic of Peter Baelish, he ends up going to King's Landing and tells Cersei that if she helps him, because he wants to take over Winterfell from whoever ends up winning this battle, that his payment to her will be Sansa Stark's head on a stake. So you never know what that dude's doing. Yeah,
that dude definitely has some ulterior motives at all times. He's a scummy guy, but he's one of those guys that is going to live for a very long time.
Oh, yeah. He'll die at some point, but it'll be like at the very end, and it'll probably be like a real shitty death because he's been just such a shitty character. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, he'll get his comings at some point.
He'll get his
comeuppance.
Yeah, there you go. But you mentioned Cersei, so we can move along to King's Landing and discuss the Lannisters and everything going on there. So, did Cersei have the ultimate walk of shame, like of all walk of shames?
Well,
that was brutal.
I don't think she's a changed person because of it. I'll say that much. I think that just pissed her off Mo.
Oh, you mean changed like she like recounted her sins and actually...
Right. I don't think she's going to take that and be like, you know what, I deserve that. I need to turn a new leaf. I'm pretty sure she's ready to exact all revenge that she could possibly, exact.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be some hell hath no fury stuff right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, now she has the mountain to do, a resurrected mountain to do her bidding.
Is that the mountain?
Zombie Frankenstein mountain? Yes, that's the mountain.
I was going to say, it's got to be somebody, but I didn't know if we were supposed to
because he's
assume
gigantic.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they've said out loud that is Clegane, but that I think we're all supposed to assume. Yeah, I think it's assumed that's the mountain. Did I miss a joke? Did I miss something?
Yes.
You said they whispered it.
Because you said they didn't say it out loud.
Oh, jokes.
Yolks and yolks.
But yeah, fuck Cersei.
So, how do you think, well, you can kind of see it in the previews. Do you see how Jaime Lannister is going to handle this whole situation with the Sparrow?
I'll say it looks like they're going to duke it out, him and the Sparrow. High Sparrow.
But isn't the High Sparrow like an old dude? Like, what do you mean duke it out?
Well, I mean, duke it out by, like, I think he's going to kill him.
I gotcha.
He's a one-armed man, so it's, going to be a little bit of a difficult battle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the dude's like an
old
man.
Or even if he doesn't kill him, I think that they're gonna have conflict this season.
I'm more interested in what the hell he's gonna do with the situation in Dorne and his dead daughter.
Oh, I think that's what Cersei's gonna kind of try to.
Yeah, Cersei's obsessed with her children.
They have on that topic. The seventh person is that Alaria Sand lady that fucking killed Marcella. Basically, that's who everyone thinks is gonna. That's Oberyn's girl,
wife, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah, and the one that kissed Marcella that basically killed her at the end of last season.
Like, wouldn't you just turn that fucking boat around at that point? Like, if I'm the father and my daughter clearly got poisoned, the first thing I would do is turn that fucking boat around.
I mean, the only thing you can think of is it's just him and Bronn. I mean, they're not going to get far; they're going to die. You know what I mean? Like, so they go back and get off and start yelling and bitching, and then they just kill him. I mean,
right? Yeah. I mean, you got to figure it was a trap at that point. If you go back, you're not.
That's a trap.
You know.
Yeah, but I would assume too that the prince had nothing to do with it, or that probably has no real recollection of it.
Sure, but how does he know that?
I don't know. I know that not everything when people make the story that not everything's either going to make sense or you think like, okay, you can easily prevent this if you just simply did that. Yeah. And maybe I feel like if you turned back around and said, "Hey, my daughter's dead. What the shit?" and talk to the prince about it. I'm pretty sure the prince knows exactly who did that.
Yeah, and maybe we'll find out. Maybe they'll answer some of those questions in this season too. You never know.
And he did threaten her when said like. So that's why I feel like that's an easy, like, yeah, you're in some deep shit if the daughter of the Lannisters the queen is dead, the queen regent.
Who'd be excited to go back to Doran or whatever is what's his face, the guy who was traveling with Jaime, who kind of helped. He used to be the sort of squire for Tyrion.
Oh, Bronn.
Is his name
Bronn was with
too?
him.
Yeah, Bronn, not Bran. Bronn.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude, because him and that one girl who's like, who like tried killing him and then was like
one of his daughters. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, she's crazy sexy though. She's one of those crazy hot girls.
I like Kiser's input. She's crazy sexy.
She's like, she might kill you in your sleep, but when she's awake and not wanting to kill you, like, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a real good time.
And that's like the perfect woman for him.
Oh, that is true.
Yes, someone that's going to give him like the best night of his life as she slits his throat. Like that's the kind of girl that he wants.
And he'd be okay with that, I think.
I think he would be.
So, yeah, I mean that's what I think about him. So I don't know what else. Anything else going on with King's Landing other than the Lannisters? Like, is there any other stories that we're not thinking about with them?
I feel like that's for at least for what's going on in King's Landing. I mean, there's all the Sparrow shit with Cersei. They got Tommen married Marjorie and her and her brother.
They're still in prison right now.
Yeah, they're still. Yeah, they're still.
I think they're waiting to be judged as well.
Well, they got convicted. Like he got convicted of performing homosexual activities. And she lied about it, and then she got in trouble for lying, so they're just in jail. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's like a
punishment yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, like where Cersei was kind of denying everything right up until the end, and then she, was like, "Yeah, I did it," and they were like, "Well, you have to atone."
Well, I think they still would be able to give them the same opportunity to atone, because she lied just as much as they did, but then she was willing to atone and confess. I think that they still haven't confessed yet, so they haven't been able to get that option to atone.
That might be the case, yeah. But yeah, they're still in prison.
Any thoughts? What do you think Tommen's going to get her freed out?
I think Marjorie's freed. Isn't she in one of the trailers, like in like clean clothes?
I don't remember her in clean clothes. I think I remember her in one trailer still in the dungeon.
I think she gets out. At least her. I don't know if her brother does, but
how about Tommen? Does he survive through the end of this season?
I don't think anyone's gunning for him at this point.
I mean, aren't they all gunning for that? That is the Iron Throne.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to go for King's Landing. I think because of the upcoming invasion of the White Walkers, I don't think anyone's trying to take over the throne at this point.
Yeah, he is number 11 on the list, though. Out of 60 people, he's number 11.
60? Like the whole list?
Who's
Who means
60? Number 60, which I think we'd all agree with, is Arya.
I can't imagine. There's a couple people that I can't see dying, and both of them are stars.
Arya goes back to what you said earlier about Kiser, about she has too much storyline going on right now to just die, to die now anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with that, but I feel like she wouldn't be my 60. She might be my 59. But.
Well, yeah. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but she is number 60. But Tommen is 11, so
okay, almost cracking that top 10.
I can understand Arya being 60 only because of how involved Sansa is. I think she's in more obvious danger than Arya.
Sansa's 52 on this list.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
So Arya is kind of doing her own thing that is completely independent of the story at this point. Yeah. So if she dies, it'd be like a boring death. I feel like she would just die for.
Yeah, no one would even know. Everyone thinks she's dead right now anyway. So
correct. Yeah.
If she died, it wouldn't even affect the story. Yeah. To Hoagie's point.
Yeah, that's a good point. The person who I thought might be number 60 is the next person we're going to be talking about, and that is the mother of dragons,
Daenerys
Targaryen,
Stormborn.
Hold on. I wrote this down for you guys.
Oh,
I wrote
perfect.
this down.
Appreciate this.
Just for this. All right. Daenerys Targaryen, the first of her name, Queen of Meereen, Queen of the Andals, and the Ronair, and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, Protector of the Realm, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, called Daenerys Stormborn, the Unburnt, Mother of Dragons.
The Unburnt.
And to think, if she actually takes the Iron Throne, then she would also add about another 4 titles.
Oh, yeah. The Unburnt is from because the dragons, when she went in that fire with the dragons and didn't get burned.
Thanks. I appreciate the description on why
you're
she
welcome.
was the Unburned.
Well, for what it's worth,
had glowing skin that she just didn't get a nice sunburn when she's out in the desert.
For what it's worth, to your point, she is number 57 on the list. So
interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
I feel like she can't die until she gets across the sea. And
how anticlimactic would that be too? Like she just her and the dragons die and just hanging.
For what it's worth, and you guys answer this since we're talking about her. I've heard rumors, and whether this is true or not, because technically the books haven't all been written. But there's some things you see on Reddit where, and I don't know if Martin is quoted saying this, but there's things
Martin
saying
Lawrence?
that there will.
Martin
Martin
Scorsese?
Lawrence. No, Martin Lawrence.
Okay, Martin Lawrence.
You guys don't read his Game of Thrones reviews?
I've not. I've seen Will Smith's Game of Thrones.
They're really good. No, you got to read
Bad
Martin.
Boys 3, man. You see that? Just saying.
But that's totally hijacking this.
So anyway, apparently only one of the main characters is alive at the end of all of this. And if that was true, I think I would pick Daenerys to be that person.
Ooh, that's tough.
And I don't know if that's, like I said, I don't know how much credit goes into that or how true that is. But if it was true, I think she would be my pick.
That would be a fun pool to put in, like $20 and just pick a character that you think.
I mean, there could be more than, for all we know at the end, like 10 people are alive. But
some random people might survive too, depending on like how far. Like if
I think
you
it meant
60 people. I
think it meant more of like from the Stark, Lannister, like the main characters.
Right.
Yeah. I think, but that's who I would pick if I had to choose.
I think I'd agree with that, though. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
But we'll find out eventually, one of these days.
But where we've left her, she went ahead. She was in that Coliseum. All right, let's go to the Coliseum talk here for a minute. They're watching these pit fights going on, and of course, Ser Jorah there wins the fight, and then he throws a spear at one of those. What are those guys called? You remember the people with the gold masks on?
Should I have it right here? Oh my God, Sons of the Harpy.
Yes, Sons of the Harpy. There you go. So he throws it at that. Now, I don't know how security was at the Coliseums back in the day, but like I know if I was going into like an Indians game and I'm wearing a gold Harpy mask that I know is like specifically not, that's actually like terrorist stuff. Like if I dress like an ISIS guy walking into Indians, the Progressive Field, I would be stopped. I feel like security at the Coliseum with all these guards for the Queen was fucking horrible because all of a sudden he kills that Sons of the Harpy, and you look and the entire arena is filled with these gold masked killers, terrorists, whatever you want to call them. Like, who screwed up on that and just let all those people in?
It also might prove that city really didn't want Daenerys there. Like there was a lot more people in Wake than they thought. They might have thought it was a small amount of people, but it actually was a lot of people, in the crowd that were part of that group. So yeah. I don't think it was a failure of the guards. I think this, when you basically just filled it up with those guys and they just kind of walked in with probably something under their loins, which happened to be that mask. And some sort of thing to kill somebody with.
I mean, that's a lot to smuggle in under your loins.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they don't have metal detectors or people who are probably watching them as they go in. I think they're going to protect around Daenerys, but then they're watching the fight, so that's when it's going to be the most distracting.
I don't know. I feel like the Unsullied with all of them there, knowing that the Mother of Dragons is sitting there, that like they would just do a better job of like watching who comes in. But anyhow,
well, it creates more impactful television. I mean, think of it. If that just happened where a couple guys just tried to kill the Queen and the Unsullied just take care of it, and they just continue on with the Coliseum, and it doesn't create that cool scene, then it's not as exciting.
I mean, that's true. And then, of course, the dragon comes in, starts burning everybody alive, and then Daenerys gets on the dragon and flies out, which, by the way, was a total dick move. She just left all of the people protecting her there. Just like, Tyrion's looking up like, what the fuck did this woman just do?
I guess the only thing you could say is with her gone, like, the Sons of the Harpy were there to kill her, so when she leaves, they won't necessarily kill them. They might just say, oh, let's go.
And plus, I think all of her protectors would have rather that she escaped anyways. Because she's not going to fight anybody unless they were just pissed that the dragon left.
I mean, yeah, obviously the guards are going to be like happy that the Queen's alive, but like Tyrion doesn't give a fuck. Like he doesn't want to be left there.
He was trying to jump on that dragon, dude.
Seriously. But anyway, so she flies off and gets dropped off. They got to be pretty far away from where she was because it's a much lusher green environment than she had been previous. And then a bunch of people on horseback kind of surround her. And I'm not sure, like, do we know who those people are?
I think based on the previews we've seen, it's some Dothrakis, or however the fuck you say it.
It looks like the Dothraki.
I thought it might have been, but I wasn't sure if I was just looking at that wrong or not. Okay.
Because I think they were trying to leave you at the end with some kind of like, oh, I wonder if they'll accept her since she was a Khaleesi for a while, all this. But then in the previews for the next season, you see her kind of chained up, looking all raggedy. So then you're thinking, either they don't believe her or they don't care that she was, or something along those lines.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then, of course, so now that sort of leaves Marine without their queen. So
you smirked a bit, didn't you, when you said that?
I totally did. I enjoyed
Queen
it.
of
Okay,
Marine.
I could hear it through your voice that you were like, nice.
I was giving myself an inaudible applause and waiting for acknowledgement from somebody else, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So Tyrion, Khaleesi's right-hand woman, Missandei, I don't even pronounce it. There's too many M words in there.
There is a lot of M names.
It's like George R.R. Martin looked at his last name and was like, Martin. I think I'm just going to name everybody with the letter M. And so Tyrion, Missandei are sort of left in charge now to rule Marine, while like all of her Daenerys' like guards and lovers and stuff like ride off to go find out where the dragon took her. And
Can I ask something real quick?
Sure.
I did not notice this, I guess, until I just read about it, but why did they decide to change the actor for Dario?
I mean, they've changed actors a couple of times with random characters. I don't know if it's a scheduling conflict.
But it was just real confusing, especially when you're watching. Like I said, I blazed through the first 5 seasons in like 2 weeks, and watching the end of like season 3, or either the end of 2 or the end of 3, when they introduce him as like this guy with long hair, and he almost looks like someone that could be in like the Last of the Mohicans, and then all of a sudden he's like a short-haired Caucasian man. Like like a totally different guy. And I just didn't know who that guy was for the first couple of episodes. And then when he said, mentions his name was Dario, I'm like, wait, that's the same fucker from last season. And doesn't even look like him. I just found it like, if they're going to pick somebody else, they would find someone that looked a little bit more similar to the first guy.
I think the second guy was like in True Blood or something, wasn't he? Like, and it may have just been in like an HBO thing where they're like, hey, we really like this guy. Let's bring him in instead. But it could have been a number of reasons. I think they changed Tommen's character at one point. The actor who played him. Probably because all of a sudden child actors, it makes a little bit more sense there. Like, you don't want like a bad child actor playing like a bigger role. And then, sometimes people die, sometimes people are contractually obligated, and it's like with something like this where these characters are adapted from a story, you can't just very well write them off. Or like in other TV shows that are, not based off anything, they can just like, well, we'll ship them, say they moved out of town or they kill them off or whatever the case may be. Here they don't have that freedom as much because they're trying to stay true to a story. So they say, we're going to put somebody else in there.
Do we know what the timeline is from like the beginning of season 1 to now? Like if it's been months, years from then to now? You
got to assume it's been a couple of years anyhow. I'm sure there's more of a formal timeline, but
I'll say I'm sure someone out there, if there isn't a formal timeline, someone out there puts something together that has it all laid out. Someone's trying to find it right now, I hear.
I mean, yeah, you got to assume that it does, because the dragons, I mean, if nothing else, they're quite grown.
They're huge now.
I don't think they grow like overnight.
Yeah. Agreed.
It looks like 284 AC, whatever the hell that means.
AC Slater?
Apparently. I'm gonna look at this timeline for a bit and see if I can get some answers, but we don't have to dwell on it.
Okay, so I guess we're pretty much. I don't know if there's anything else that Haddix you wanted to touch base with. Looks like Tyrion and Lord Varys are gonna form sort of an alliance there to help run Marine. Varys always has his connections, which, I used to hate that guy, and I kind of like his character now by the end of last season. Like, he just...
Yeah.
Him and Tyrion, like, they work well together in their own way.
They do. I agree with you. There's the ongoing Sir Jorah Marmont or whatever has a grayscale, and it looks like it's gotten worse in the previews.
Yeah, it does.
So
it does look like it's kind of on his own whole forearm now.
Yeah. So luckily he's now away from, because she got kidnapped, but he's away from Khaleesi and now Tyrion as well. So if anything, he'll just infect Dario and they'll get a new actor, right, Hougie?
This guy. So just so you know, it's been 3 years for this 298 AC is when Robert Baratheon basically dies, and 300 AC is Daenerys Targaryen rules Meereen as its queen.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that fits about somewhere in that timeline.
So other than that, I think we need to touch on the character that was missing all of season 5, who we all assume is going to be a huge character going forward.
You talking about Gendry or whatever that guy's name was?
Yep, Gendry.
Gendry? Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
No, Mr. Talking about Bronn Stark.
Bran Flakes.
Bran Flakes. So I can't even tell you where we left him last. I know, was that where he went to the tree?
I looked it up because I couldn't remember either. Yeah, that him, Hodor, and Mira were in that cave where you meet that wizard-like three-eyed raven or whatever.
Right.
And then I can't remember if the guy says something or what, but you just get this feeling that he's going to teach him how to use his powers. And then that was where it ended.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with his character. And it's you forgot about him all last season. So.
Oh, yeah. I did look it up to see why. And apparently it was because where he was at in the storyline, basically now, where we're at right now, going into season 6, all the storylines are kind of
caught up.
They coincide with each other, yeah. And at that point, if he was in season 5, he would have been, way ahead of kind of everyone else. So they just decided to leave him out.
Sucks for that actor, dude. Missed out on a whole season.
Well, I wonder if he still got. I wonder if he still got paid. I wonder if he signed an X amount of year contract, so he still technically got paid, even though he wasn't really in it.
I don't know. That's a great question. But so I can't even theorize what other than he's gonna probably develop his powers, and you assume he's gonna be around for the foreseeable future and make some sort of valiant return. But when and where, I don't know. Maybe he helps with the White Walkers. I don't know.
They show that at one point they show him with the Night's King, which I guess is that guy's name, that main White Walker guy that basically raised everyone from the dead last season.
They show.
He's with him now. I guess it's speculation that it's a flashback that Bronn is having, or a vision that he's having. But yeah, there's a scene in one of the trailers, I can't remember which one, where he's with that guy.
Oh, interesting.
And you see him using his legs and stuff in these visions. So either he gets healed by this tree jabroni, or he just has a bunch of visions, or, because he had a bunch of those. I guess season 4 was the last season he was in. But
okay, well, yeah. Speaking of visions, Arya doesn't have it anymore.
Nice. That was a nice segue.
Thank you. So of course she's doing the whole thing, training with the many-faced god, which is kind of an interesting concept, but I really don't know where they're going with it. Does she start? I mean, obviously she's going to develop her skills in subterfuge, I guess, but the way that they sort of play that religion off is. You sort of forget your past. You forget who you are, and you sort of develop into this, needed to, whatever the many-faced god wishes you to do, you do, but you don't do anything else. And Arya has this whole really checklist of vengeance that she wants to take a part of. So I have a feeling she's never going to fully adapt to the lifestyle of the many-faced god, because I feel like it would sort of ruin the character that they've spent 5 seasons building.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, she's definitely... I think she's the one that all of us fans have high hopes of enacting revenge for her whole family. So I definitely agree with you there.
Well, she has... I mean, who's left on her list at this point? Cersei, the Mountain, and I thought somebody else.
I thought there was more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, there were more, but a lot of them have died. Or at least have been thought to die. Like the Mountain, or not the Mountain, the Hound.
Well, I think the Hound will be back too, but that's just me.
I wouldn't be shocked. Anybody whose death is uncertain,
you might as well assume that
they're you might as well assume they're still alive somehow.
Well, I guess that brings up a point. Stannis Baratheon, do you guys think he's officially
dead? He's got to be dead. I mean, what did Bree just dead. Swing above his head?
Well, that's the same thing that could have happened to the Hound, because you don't.
Well, but the Hound was just left to die. Like, you see that Bree takes a swing at him.
I think he's dead for nothing other than he has nothing to live for at this point. He killed his daughter.
I agree completely.
Yeah, his wife hung himself.
Why not show it though? Why did they go that route?
Yeah, I mean, real quick.
I think it was more because I think it would have been more impactful and dramatic to watch Bree the whole time do it than to just see her just kill him. I think it was more important to show that she exacted she's the one that did the justice for Renly.
Yeah. Real quick, Arya's list is Cersei, who's still alive, Meryn, who she just killed, Melisandre, Walder Frey, Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, who I think is still alive.
Some of these names I don't even know who they are.
So the Beric Dondarrion is the guy that basically resurrected himself.
Yeah. He's the guy that we were talking about earlier with that.
He keeps coming back to life.
So none of these people. So far, Meryn's the only one that's dead. She just killed him. Melisandre's still alive. Walder Frey is the dad that set up the Red Wedding, basically, which is why she wants to kill him.
Yep, right.
Beric Dondarrion's the guy that resurrects. He's still alive. Thoros of Myr is one of the guys.
Are you naming her list?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's still alive. He's the one that sold Gendry to Melisandre. She wants to kill the Mountain, who I guess technically is still alive. I don't know. Ilan Payne, the guy that killed Ned, that beheaded Ned, he's still alive. The Hound, which is dead, I guess, however you want to look at it. Joffrey, who's dead. Tywin Lannister, who's dead. So there's still a decent amount of people on her list that are not dead yet.
She has an ambitious list to get through, though.
Yes. Yes, she does.
Hey, man, set your goals high.
So I guess as we kind of wind things down here, are there any other characters we haven't touched base on that you guys wanted to quick throw out any recap or theories on?
I think Theon is a big one to me because obviously he's been warped by Ramsay for quite a long time, but he at least snapped out of it enough to save Sansa. So I'm curious as to what his state of mind is at this point. Whether he's still kind of, I mean, is he going to act more like Theon, or was he acting the whole time as Reek just so he would, not be killed and he wouldn't be tortured anymore? I would love to see like what his objective is now and whether he was just faking it the whole time.
I can't imagine he was faking it. I think he is a little mentally unstable at this point, broken. I also wouldn't be surprised if he dies at some point.
I was just about to say,
I feel like he's sort of outlived his use at this point.
Where's he on that list?
He's number 21. So not. Yeah, I agree though. I think his last act is not that he's going to die in like episode 1, but I think his last act was saving Sansa there.
Attack of the Clones or something, maybe that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did I miss another joke?
Yes.
I said episode 1.
You just got to pay attention. So, Haddix, I guess since we've kind of gone through that, we got a quick minute or two here. Why don't you read the top 10 list of characters that they think are going to die, and we'll kind of weigh in on that.
Number 1 at 12.8% is Balin Greyjoy.
Which is not a high amount of...
Well, this is out of 7,000 and 60 people.
Hold on, who'd you say was number one?
Balin Greyjoy.
Oh, the father.
Yeah, which I could agree with that. I could see him dying. Number 2 is Alistair Thorne, who is the guy that was kind of butting heads with Jon, Night's Watch. I could definitely see that happen.
The head of the Night's Watch.
Yeah, who potentially...
Traitor part, yeah.
Yeah, who potentially might take over for Jon now that he's dead. Number 3 was Ollie, like we said earlier. Number 4, Lancel Lannister, which I could see because he's a little bitch. Number 5, Pycelle, the old guy. Which I don't know. I don't know why.
Just get him.
Yeah. Number 6, Roose Bolton. I could see that because I feel like there's going to be a battle with the Boltons.
If the Boltons all go, yeah.
Yeah. Number 7, Ilaria Sand, like we talked about. Number 8, Walder Frey, the old guy again in charge of, or who did the old Red Wedding thing. Yeah. Number 9, Ramsay Bolton, again, like you said. Wouldn't be surprised if all the Boltons
killing him and that being the end of Theon.
Yeah. Agreed. And number 10 is Kevin Lannister. Not Kevin McAllister.
I was just going to say, he's the guy from Home Alone.
No, isn't Kevin Lannister an uncle?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is a Lannister.
Well, there you have it. So, any last notes, guys? Anything you want to say before we tell you guys to go watch season 6 Sunday at 9 p.m. on HBO?
I'm excited. I think I like everybody. It's a great show. It's always hyped up when it gets around Game of Thrones premiere time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be funny to watch these episodes now one episode at a time because, like I said, I went through.
Dude, it's brutal because then you got to sit there and wait 7 days.
It's been a long time. I really haven't, other than maybe the last season of Dexter. I really haven't watched any show not from beginning to end at my own pace. So actually seeing them as the episodes come, it's going to be a different feeling for me.
Well, welcome to the club, my friend. It's tormenting at times, but it's rewarding. And as long as you watch it Sunday night, because otherwise, RIP your spoilers if you log into Facebook or Twitter, because people go nuts about this show on there.
Yeah, especially considering I'm on the West Coast. I have to wait. It doesn't come on. It's not like it's on at 8 o'clock your time or whatever, so it's 5 o'clock mine. No, it's same time as you guys.
Same
it's
bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat channel. So, yeah, I definitely, more than you guys, I have to stay off.
Yeah, things are tough over there in Westeros.
Nice to see what you did there.
Marine, however, gets that shit right at the start.
They sure do. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this week. Don't forget, go subscribe. Leave us some feedback. Subscribe, though. Seriously, download all that. pseudonerdpod.com for everything. Next week, we don't know what we're doing yet. So some sort of list. We're going to figure that out in the next couple of days here. But hopefully you guys will be back.
We'll be sure to tease it when we know.
Right. And from the home of Scott's Fire and Ice Catering to the home of the Dragon Lounge, I have Josh Kiser. He is Josh Haddix, and he is Kyle Hoagland. And we will see you guys next week.
I don't know how you found that, but have a good Friday.
Which one's mine? All right, we'll see.
You have the Dragon Lounge. We have Scott's Fire and Ice Catering in Hudson, Ohio.
Nice. See ya.
Later.